Right. Let's get this over with.
We'll call the regular meeting of Public Works, Bureau of Public Works to order on Monday, November 18, 4 PM. I believe we have a quorum with those folks on the phone. I don't know who they might be.
We have Commissioners Salemi, Lester, Mandyke, Aveduzin, and Magnan are attending virtually.
So we have a quorum.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. The first order of business number 2, public comments relative to agenda items. If we have any public comments relative to agenda items, now is the time. Any public member on the phone? If not, we'll move to item number 3. Item number 3, approval of the meeting minutes from October 23rd. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Any corrections? Very good, thank you. Next item, we have consideration and possible action on district sewer rates.
Move adoption.
Move adoption, thank you, and a second.
Second.
And a staff member who was going to comment on this.
Yeah, Kelly, thank you. We just said, John, you want to go through the public hearing?
Sure. This item is miscellaneous sewer rates, and they were posted for public hearing at the end of October. The public hearing itself was, I believe, November 17th. This is an annual resolution as part of our budget process that sets the sewer user charge rate, which nonprofits pay, the Clean Water Project charge, and a range of different rates for meters, all sorts of administrative fees, things like that. Though there aren't many changes proposed for this year.
Commissioners, questions? If not, we had the motion to move the item. We had a second.
Second.
No questions for staff? We'll take a vote. All in favor, as proposed? Say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Any opposition? Hearing none, the item moves unanimously. The next item, again, is potential action on some, the abandonment of sewer on Elm Street and Capitol Avenue. Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Can we have, we do.
Mike Curley, Manager of Engineering.
Sorry, Mike, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we received a request from the engineer, SLR International Corporation, on July 23rd on behalf of the developer, 100 Capitol Avenue LLC, to abandon 2 sections of sewer, the 30-inch sewer, brick sewer, which is no longer active, and a 10-inch, approximately 75 feet of 10-inch sanitary sewer that were altered or installed back in 1924, 1929 to accommodate a development back in those days. What they're proposing to do is put a building smack right on the back of that parking lot behind 55 Elm, and it's going to conflict with those 2 sections of sewer. Eliminating them isn't going to be a problem because they're only used. The 10 inch is the only thing active, and it's not being used now. So if there's any questions.
Okay. Questions? Commissioner Drake. Thank you.
Do we do any work at all, or do we inspect it when they're done? They cap it? And is that the idea? We do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So when we abandon a sewer, we generally fill it or will, in this case here,
We fill it or they fill it?
they do, we inspect. Yes, so the 30-inch sewer is already inactive. It's been taken out of commission by our own operations folks. The 10-inch is currently active, but that will be eliminated. What the developer's planning to do is he's going to dig it up and tie in a lateral where the existing hole is in the manhole where the main line was once connected. So he's going to reuse that location and build a brand-new sewer there. So he'll take it out of the ground.
Was that
Yes,
the
sir.
work? Was that the work in Bushnell Park? Have anything to do with that?
Well, it's part of the Bushnell South Development Area, which
It's
we,
going up.
yes. It's up the hill, Hudson. It's at the corner of Capitol and Hudson.
Further questions? Hearing none, seeing none? Call for a vote? Pass? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any opposition? The issue passes unanimously. Next item is an opportunity for general public comments. Again, I'll make the call a couple times, asking for general public comments. Anyone on the phone? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is commissioner requests for future agenda items. Don't everybody jump at once.
I have something.
You're not a commissioner.
I know, sorry.
You can't talk. No. If there's any suggestions from commissioners, now's your time. And then we'll pass it on to the boss.
Move adjournment?
Not yet. He wants
Yeah,
to-
thank you. I just want to remind we've got an hour. I just want to remind the commissioners.
You don't have an hour.
I just want to remind the commissioners, we will be bringing that back to this body, but we are working through the mediation with the city of Hartford and the MS4 permit and the MOU. Very positive so far. So hopefully we can get this resolved by the end of November. And then in addition to that, I've talked about the Bushnell South development, which is about 1,000 units, thank you, 1,000 units of residential units, which is very good for our water sales. We're about, quiet, Michael. We're about 1% and change up from last year from commercial water sales. So our goal is to start to see all of these developments, residential developments in Hartford we start to see it at the water meter, in the next couple of years. But in terms of Bushnell South, we've got a draft MOU from Mike Freemuth. And as we mentioned, we had proposed they share in the cost of a stormwater system, separated stormwater system down Capitol Avenue, down Hudson Street. They've agreed to that in concept. We initially, they felt that their share should be about 1.6 million. We believe that their share is 2 million of a $4.2 million project. They've agreed in principle. They've given us an MOU that identifies $2 million. We do have an outstanding issue that we're working with Chris Stone on, the Buckingham Garage. We did propose as part of this settlement that if we could resolve the issue with the Buckingham Garage and the state of Connecticut with the groundwater, we could connect them under the $2 million and alleviate the groundwater continuing to cause issues to the system. But we would want some recognition and some settlement of what they owe us to date. The initial discussions, state wasn't that interested. However, Mike's gonna bring that back to the state, and I'm assuming that's OPM, I don't know who. But if we can have some resolution that the board would accept, we'd propose that to you. If not, we'll just remove that settlement clause out of the MOU, and it won't include the garage settlement. I'll leave that to Chris Stone to determine. But the good news is, this section of pipe that Mike just referred to as being demolished and abandoned, that's the next phase. So we call it 65 Elm. So you got 55 is the iconic AG's office right here on the circle. Right behind that, right on the corner of Capitol Avenue and Hudson is 65. And that's gonna be the first development that occurs in the roughly next 2 years. So our goal would to have that storm system built and ready for them to connect to it in the next 2 years. So we're gonna get the MO resolved, we're gonna bring it back to BPW and the full board.
Scott, you're talking about the problem with deep, down the collection area?
Yeah, the garage, correct.
No, not the garage. I'm talking about down at Pulaski Circle.
Well, the Pulaski Circle is probably, the DOT project probably is not gonna happen in a time frame that will ever help us. They've already said that it's 2028 before they even think about doing anything in Pulaski Circle. So we're gonna move forward, and we've got a drop shaft we can utilize. We're hopeful we can utilize that, but we haven't done any design yet, so we're gonna move forward without the DOT at this point. And that's it.
Anything further? Would you like to make that motion, Mr. DeBella?
Move adjournment.
Very good.